Under my leadership, Local 26 will be a union that values all voices and opinions, finds ways to synthesize these ideas, and empowers each of us to be meaningful members. I believe with the right leadership, we can make major improvements to our healthcare coverage, thus finding a way to make this work. I promise that as president, you will have greater access to information, including the budget, and how the union is spending your hard-earned money. And someone said to me, you know, Joe, we don't know what type of president that you would be because you're not there. And it's true. We don't know what type of president that I would be. But we do know the type of president that Brian is. And he's someone who's continually failed to represent us in the way that we deserve, failed to value our opinions, and failed to lead us in the direction that we need to go. But we might not know what type of president I would be, but we do know the type of leader that I am here at the Taj. From the beginning, I've always been a leader that tries to bring more people to the table, tries to get more people involved and more people engaged. Because I've always believed that if you can give people the tools to fight for themselves, they'll get the respect far better than if I was always trying to solve a problem for somebody. And I remember that first grievance meeting that I had. At the end of the grievance meeting, the HR director asked the worker to step out, and then she tried to explain the deal and her perspective on the particular grievance. And I stopped the meeting. I said, I'm not here to speak on behalf of anyone or make any deals on behalf of someone. And that I'm only going to sit here if we're going to talk about the case as long as the worker's present. And that's been my perspective, how I've operated. And even before I was a shop steward, I remember the time when a coworker of mine had to go back home to Morocco to take care of his mom who was sick. And the manager said, I know it's an emergency, so feel free to go, and I'll make sure I fill out the paperwork while you're gone. And then when he came back, the manager said, oh, I'm sorry, things have changed, I don't have your job for you anymore. And he was out of a job after being away for a few weeks. And what we did is, I organized a delegation of the other guys on the overnight, and we went down to Human Resources and we explained our full side of the story. And the HR director said, okay, well, I'm going to have to get in touch with the manager and find out what happened. And we said, no, you need to call the manager down here now because this worker has to get back to work. And it's one thing to try to lie, in a one-to-one situation. But when you have to face a group of people, which we had with that delegation, it was far more difficult for the manager to try to lie, and he ends up tripping over his words, and he was totally exposed. And by the end of that day, that worker was back on the schedule. And I acknowledge, that I'm far from perfect. I make, many mistakes along the way. But for every day that I've been here, I've tried my best to be a leader that's not about the me, but rather about the us. How do we bring out the strengths out of all of us? And this, I promised you, is a spirit I would bring to the presidency of Local 26. We need a fighting, inclusive spirit if we are going to stand a chance of being successful. I believe that during the next contract, we need to be more ambitious in our goals. Some companies, like many of the hotels, make T-passes tax exempt. But there are other companies that actually help pay and subsidize a significant portion of the T-passes. Others help subsidize child care for their employees. But I have plenty of ideas. But this campaign is not about my ideas alone. It's about how we pull the strengths and the ideas out of all of us and achieve them collectively. I'll also tell you that this campaign is not about replacing one president with another and having the same old, but it's about how you would represent yourself. Because I'm a member just like you. And who knows your problems, your concerns, your goals for you and your family better than you? A union bureaucrat or someone that has worked alongside you day in and day out for the past 7 years? And that's what we need, a member. Someone who knows what it's like to work in these hotels and in this way. Someone also brought up to me, that I don't have the experience in the union hall. But as far as I'm concerned, when someone's not a member, and when that someone has been in the union hall for over a decade, like Brian has, experience blinds the imagination. And we cannot afford that blindness. Now's the time to think big. There's a new mayor in Boston, a new chapter in the city of Boston is beginning, and we at Local 26 must start a new chapter too. This presidency does not require years of experience or an advanced degree. It requires someone who listens, who you can trust, who can acknowledge and learns from their mistakes, who has their door open, who is willing to work with people he may not always agree with. And I also promise you that if we think we can take this great energy that we have here today in this room and go on election day and vote and be successful, we won't be. I need everybody to pitch in along the way. You know, we have to spread the message. We have to let people know that there's an alternative to Brian, that there are other options. We'll need people to help leaflet, help get people out there on election day to actually vote. There's also 2 small bins on chairs as you leave today. You know, we need contributions, financial contributions. That way we can continue to have more leaflets printed. We want to send out mailings to more members. And there's other ways to get involved. You know, help spread the message to friends and family and coworkers at other hotels and the universities. And someone once told me, we can't teach our children what we don't do for ourselves. And to me, I think that perfectly applies to what this campaign is about. It's about us standing up for what's right, knowing what's going to be necessary to be successful. And if we don't do that now, then I don't think there's ever going to be another chance. This is the time to do it. And I'm ready. I'm ready to be the president that you deserve. So if you're ready too, if you're ready to stand up and make this stronger union, make this union what we and our children need it to be, I'm asking you to stand with me and let's do this together. Thank you very much.
It's very important changing.
That's right.
Many mistakes, many problems. Nobody helping. We need help.
That's what this is
That's
about.
why we are the union. Everybody is the union here.
Yes.
It's powerful. Together. No alone.
That's right. Thank you, Jose. Some people are on their breaks, and so I don't want to take up too much time, but please feel free. Come to me with your ideas, any questions, and let's strategize, and there'll be a meeting that we'll set up soon, so that way we can start this plan of getting out to the other hotels and spreading this message. So thank you so much, though, for coming, and let's do this together.